Okay, now it's working. That was quite odd. Okay, post we're live. I think it's okay. Hope everyone here is ready for this. So I wanted to stress test the control. So we're gonna do a couple of things that I think are gonna be worthy of testing. Okay. So first of all, hey everybody, this is the prototype controller that I've been working. As you can see, it's a bit different than the normal ASCII pad that I use. So my normal speedrunning controller. And for those of you who haven't been here in the last couple of months or just haven't been around when I'm talking about it, I'm working on a hobby project where I'm building a controller that A will eventually be my modern turbo controller for the Super Nintendo. So it's going to be used extensively for my speedrun stuff. But also, there have been people that have asked me, not a lot of people, but a few people that have asked me about something they like to see in a controller if I could build it because I was letting them know build it. So we're starting off with this is the first prototype. I've reused a broken Super Nintendo controller. I reused the shell and all the memory and everything. Um, Unfortunately, this first prototype did not end up panning out well, and so I've had to do a little bit of fixing on it. And that's kind of where we are right now. And I'll just demonstrate a little bit that it does work. So it is responding. So the console does read the controller. I'm gonna screw in these screws a little tighter since it looks like the shell's a little. So give me 1 second, and then we'll stress test it to just see that um like no loose joints or anything like that. Alrighty. Oh, I might need this screw here. Might be. Let me add one more screw to this. I left one open just in case I needed to open it up again. Alrighty. Let's get this in and then think that's the best it's going to be. Well,
because I've lost
cheers.
control of my life.
Yo, Jeff. Welcome on. So, welcome in, Jeff. We are going to... By the way, did that play? I had my headphones. Well, if anything, I could always just check. Cool, Club.
Because I've lost control of my life.
All right, so what I wanted to just mention is that I'm getting ready to test the controller right now. Excuse me, family came home right as I started streaming, so. Okay, so the intention here is we're going to do some stress testing on the controller with a few games just to make sure that that the games work okay without making anything loose. So as you can see, the controller is operational. Future plan is once we get the first few prototypes out, because I think I have another 12 more shells I'll start making my own shells. So I'll also manufacture shells to go with my... Mm-hmm. Yep, they will be 3D printed. All right. Yo, Meta, welcome in. Thank you for the 7. So I think very easily, let's start with... So I only did a little bit of testing on last night just to make sure I got it to work. Go. I suck at this one. I think I'm kind of fucked here. I was supposed to do the spin. Oh, so now we can see. Works pretty well. Functional. Got buttons working. All right, next one on the list. think that's what I normally have. Okay, I died. I think this isn't actually right. Let me I forget, in normal Mega Man games, is it B to jump or A to jump? I feel like A should be shot and B should be. Yeah, something felt off. Oh. Oh no, no. Yeah, this feels better. Don't trust myself. This game feels weird until you can dash. Yeah. Does it require you holding A or B or? Here we go. You must collect all the energy, Mega Man. It's dark energy. Oh, shit. I didn't dash. Maybe I should have made it out. That'll feel a little better than... You son of a bitch. Okay, well, Mega Man works. Man, what do you think so far, chat? Mario World and Mega Man X. I'm just finishing up some food and then we'll move to the next game. I guess in what way? How do you want me to test the D-pad? I can do Earthbound. Up down hasn't really been pressed. Okay. Needs more round rolls? We can definitely do that. Actually, that was the one thing I tested beforehand. And they feel beautiful. Like, friggin' amazing. I actually had the most beautiful rand roll. I'm gonna do the Rand roll from from the Simifort area. We usually have gone, then that sucks. Just so you can all see. Ah. That sucks. Oop, other way. I mean, how's that? With the stress testing, what I meant more with that is more of like vibratory shaking. So, I mean, I can do Earthbound and see if stutter stepping loosens anything, because that would be where I have a little bit of fear. But I'm not sure. I'm not a good candidate for Super Metroid testing, for what it's worth. No stray diagonals. That right there was the most beautiful test. Normally I get diagonals with that. Like, unless I'm actually hitting the button intentionally, there hasn't been a stray diagonal. That so far was the best test for that. And I always shake my controller. So I think it survives a vibe test. Let's see stutter stepping again with the snake. I think the first file is an initial save with your dad. Yeah. Let's see if there's any snakes outside. Ah, that was a mistake on my part. My rhythm wasn't there. IR being the odd buttons out of testing so far looks promising. Heck yeah. LR being the odd button so far. Well, right there's one. L. There's no R here. I guess with that I can show in Super Metroid. Oh, you guys are gonna have to listen to the whole intro. Go up and down. That's fine. Well, we want to test anyway.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at
Well, it looks
peace.
promising. We got stutter stepping done in Earthbound. I think that's the most vibratory testing I have. We have what else? We've done a test of all the buttons, the responsiveness of the D-pad, or just the buttons in general, where I was able to do rand rolls in circles, or I guess in squares. So that looks nice. It's responsive to the frame. If you haven't heard, let me see if you can hear this. Oh no, it's not even passing the noise gate. Shut the noise gate down. Okay, let's try. Yeah. You got the... Here, let me... Got the tactile switches in there. They're beautiful, man. So you'll know exactly how many... You'll actually have the responsiveness of your presses. And that's also preventing the accidental deep. But it's going to make it a little bit harder to do any slides, like any sort of D-pad slide. But the force needed for the tactile presses are not that high. I think it's only double or a little, or like 2.5 times what the normal SNES buttons are. So it's enough to avoid the accidental D-pad, but a slight bit harder to do any sort of sliding techniques. There you go. suck at doing. Anyway, well, that is the controller in a nutshell. This is the first and only one done so far, and I need to work on the other 4. I can probably get them. Now that I've gotten the first one down, I actually have now a philosophy for how I'm going to test these. And I've made a new revision for the board, I just haven't sent it out to buy yet, that will address some of the things that I have that are messed up with it. But this is a prototype revision as of right now. I do eventually want to feel out how yeah, exactly, with the turbo, because I have to print them, so I need to get someone to kind of give a rating of how the shell is going to be. I do have a different filament that I plan to use. So right now, the only filament I'm using is the general PLA. So I have that more for like little fixes that I have in here, and mock-ups for my PCBs and shells and stuff, but they won't be the ultimate final product. I have a different filament for that. But I might have to just grit it down a little bit. Yeah, so that really is it for this. Hold on, let me think. I wish JRP were here. JRP would love this. But yeah, I already have a couple of people in mind who will do the testing, so I look forward to getting their input. Yo, Cerberus, how's it going? Yeah. Nice. Well, ultimately, we have a nice little working prototype that feels nice. I really like it. I have tactile response on every button, too. Even the start and select have the tactile response on. But yeah, it's working. Really excited about it. And the thing is that I don't feel like even dirt being inside of this. You know how sometimes people complain about, oh, like my controller's dirty, so I got some additional like I got some like stuff in here that I need to clean off. It's probably giving me a bad input. I don't feel like that's a thing anymore with this controller. Because like this is a pretty like the membranes are pretty dirty, and I think there's a little bit of grime like in the middle of the but overall, like, I don't feel like it is making a difference in the way. Let me go pester JRP. Hold on. Okay, what's going on? I'm gonna pester my pillow. Oh, all right. Well, good night, Jeff. I'm glad that you were able to stop by. All right. Oh my god. You guys have no idea how, like, awesome it feels that I get this to work. All right, I want to do some more Rand rolling, actually. I kind of messed up here. We don't need Sten, so Dijon, blue. Maybe some Street Fighter. I don't have Street Fighter right now. I actually feel confident in my Rand rolling with this controller. It's so funny. That was so beautiful. It feels so good. I have no idea how to tell you guys. Like, if you like played, if you speedrun these games, you like actually feel the difference between generic controller and how this D-pad feels. Just alone, like being able to do this square motion is extremely hard to do on a regular controller. I have so much control, it's crazy. Well, that was interesting. Yeah. I'm totally happy with this controller. Alright, guys. For now, I am going to... I'm probably going to raid out. I'll be live maybe in about 20 minutes after moving my setup over. Because I currently have my RetroTink in the other room for my main setup. For like casual stuff. I have the RetroTink in the other room because I was doing testing to get this controller working. I'm so happy you guys have. Anyway, as far as raids go, I don't raid Kato that much, but we will raid Kato. I was either gonna do that or we can raid Angie. Almost done and about to get a huge PB in FF10. You know what? I've never raided Angie before. Raiding Angie. Witcher, good luck. This is a good friend of the stream. She actually lives in the same area as me, which is crazy, and she's going to be my first prototype tester. Good luck. Have fun. I'll be back in about half an hour at most. Later.